Right now, at this very moment, the most powerful warship ever built by human hands is cutting through the world's waters with enough firepower to level entire cities. The USS Gerald R isn't just another aircraft carrier. It's a floating city of 4,500 sailors commanding technology so advanced it makes science fiction look outdated. While China races to build their own supercarriers and tensions rise across the Pacific, America just deployed a weapon so sophisticated it can launch 25% more aircraft than any carrier before it, using electromagnetic catapults that sound like thunder and move faster than the eye can follow. But here's what nobody's talking about. This $13.3 billion marvel of engineering isn't just ruling the seas. It's rewriting the entire playbook of modern warfare. 3 carriers now patrol the Pacific simultaneously for the first time since 2001, armed with the longest-range air-to-air missiles in American inventory, while China's new Type 004 supercarrier threatens to match America's power. The stakes have never been higher, and what happens next will determine who controls the world's most important waters for the next 50 years. If you're proud of American naval superiority and want to see our forces maintain their edge, type yes in the comments below. The story of American naval dominance begins with understanding exactly what makes the Gerald R. so revolutionary. When this massive warship departed Norfolk, Virginia on June 24, 2025, it wasn't just another deployment, it was the unveiling of America's answer to every challenge our enemies could throw at us. Standing 1,092 feet long with a flight deck stretching 256 feet wide, the Ford displaces 100,000 tons of American engineering excellence. But size alone doesn't tell the whole story. What makes this carrier truly special lies in the revolutionary technology humming beneath its steel deck. The Electromagnetic Aircraft Launch System, or EMALS, represents the biggest leap forward in carrier aviation since the steam catapult was invented in the 1950s. Instead of using massive amounts of steam to launch aircraft, EMALS uses electromagnetic energy to accelerate planes from 0 to takeoff speed in just seconds. The result? Aircraft experience smoother launches with less stress on their airframes, meaning they last longer and require less maintenance. More importantly, the Ford can launch 160 sorties per day under normal conditions, with surge capability reaching an incredible 270 sorties when America needs maximum firepower. But here's where it gets really impressive, and why China is scrambling to catch up. The Ford operates with 700 fewer crew members than the older Nimitz-class carriers while generating 25% more combat power. Advanced automation handles tasks that once required dozens of sailors, freeing up our people for the complex work that only human judgment can accomplish. The heart of this technological marvel beats with 2 A1B nuclear reactors that generate 3 times more electrical power than previous carrier designs. This isn't just about keeping the lights on. This massive power generation capability enables weapon systems that were pure fantasy just a decade ago. Directed energy weapons, advanced radar systems, and electromagnetic armor all become possible when you have that much electricity at your disposal. Now, you might wonder why all this technology matters when we're talking about ruling the Pacific. The answer lies in understanding the threat America faces from an increasingly aggressive China. China's People's Liberation Army Navy has been busy. Very busy. They now operate 3 aircraft carriers, the Liaoning, Shandong, and the newly launched Fujian. But they're not stopping there. Intelligence reports confirm China is developing the Type 004, a nuclear-powered supercarrier that could potentially carry over 100 aircraft, matching or even exceeding the Ford's capacity. Recent satellite imagery from the Dalian shipyard shows construction modules that strongly suggest China aims to commission this massive warship between 2030 and 2032. If successful, it would make China only the 3rd nation after the United States and France to operate nuclear-powered aircraft carriers. But building big ships is one thing. Using them effectively is entirely different. China's carriers still rely on ski-jump launch systems that limit the weight and fuel capacity of their aircraft. Meanwhile, American carriers with electromagnetic catapults can launch heavier, more heavily armed aircraft that can fly farther and hit harder. The strategic implications become crystal clear when you look at current Pacific deployments. For the first time since 2001, 3 American aircraft carriers now operate simultaneously in Pacific waters. The USS George Washington, forward deployed from Japan, the USS Carl Vinson with its advanced carrier Air Wing 2, and the USS Abraham Lincoln working together create an umbrella of American power projection that covers thousands of square miles of ocean. The Carl Vinson deserves special mention here because it's currently testing America's newest and most advanced weapons systems. Carrier Air Wing 2, embarked on the Vinson, operates the AIM-174B air-to-air missile, the longest-range air-to-air missile in American inventory. This weapon gives American pilots the ability to engage enemy aircraft at distances never before possible, fundamentally changing the mathematics of aerial combat. These aren't just impressive statistics, they represent real deterrent power against Chinese aggression. When Chinese military planners see 3 American carrier strike groups operating in their backyard, equipped with technology they can't match, it forces them to think twice about any aggressive moves against Taiwan or other American allies. Speaking of allies, the Ford's deployment demonstrates something equally important: America's commitment to working with partners around the world. The Ford Carrier Strike Group includes not just American destroyers, but operates alongside NATO allies and partners in coordinated exercises that showcase the power of democratic nations working together. The USS Winston S. Churchill, USS Mitchell, USS Mahan, USS Bainbridge, and USS Forrest Sherman, these Arleigh Burke-class destroyers form a protective screen around the Ford, each one packed with vertical launch system cells containing dozens of missiles capable of shooting down everything from enemy aircraft to incoming ballistic missiles. But let's talk about what really makes the Ford special: the people who operate it. These aren't just sailors. They're highly trained specialists operating some of the most sophisticated equipment ever put to sea. The 4,500 crew members include pilots who've trained for years to master carrier operations, radar operators who can track hundreds of contacts simultaneously, and engineers who maintain systems so complex they require constant attention from some of America's smartest technical minds. Captain Dave Scarosi, the Ford's commanding officer, put it perfectly when he said his crew would face and overcome any challenges with overwhelming force and fortitude, showcasing the power and lethality of the Ford-class carrier to the world. That confidence comes from knowing they operate the most advanced warship ever built, backed by the full might of American industrial and technological superiority. The Ford's Air Wing tells its own story of American advancement. Carrier Air Wing 8 includes the Ragin' Bulls of Strike Fighter Squadron 37, the Black Lions of VFA 213, the Tomcatters of VFA 31, and the Golden Warriors of VFA 87. These aren't just cool nicknames. They represent squadrons with decades of combat experience, flying FA-18 Super Hornets that have been continuously upgraded with the latest avionics, weapon systems, and defensive countermeasures. The electronic warfare capabilities deserve special attention. The Grey Wolves of Electronic Attack Squadron 142 operate EA-18G Growler aircraft equipped with jamming systems so advanced they can blind enemy radars hundreds of miles away. When these aircraft operate alongside the Ford's other planes, they create an electronic warfare environment that enemy forces simply cannot penetrate. Now, let's address the elephant in the room: cost. Critics point out that the Ford cost $13.3 billion to build, making it the most expensive warship in history. But consider what that money bought. This single ship can project more military power than most nations possess in their entire military. The Ford can operate anywhere in the world's oceans for months without resupply, providing American presidents with options no other nation can match. More importantly, the Navy expects to save $4 billion per carrier over the ship's 50-year lifespan, thanks to reduced crew requirements and more efficient systems. When you spread those savings across decades of operation, the Ford becomes not just a military asset, but a smart financial investment in American security. The technological advantages extend beyond just the big systems everyone talks about. Take the advanced arresting gear, for example. When aircraft land on the Ford, they're caught by cables controlled by electromagnetic systems that can adjust tension instantly based on the weight and speed of each individual aircraft. This means safer landings for pilots and less wear and tear on expensive aircraft. The ship's island superstructure, moved farther aft than on previous carriers, creates more space on the flight deck for aircraft operations, while providing better visibility for the ship's control systems. Even seemingly small improvements like this add up to significant operational advantages when you're conducting round-the-clock flight operations in contested waters. But perhaps most importantly, the Ford was designed from the ground up to incorporate future technologies. Only half of the ship's massive electrical generating capacity is currently being used. That means as new weapon systems, sensors, and defensive measures are developed, the Ford can accommodate them without major structural modifications. Imagine directed energy weapons that can shoot down incoming missiles at the speed of light, or electromagnetic armor that can deflect projectiles before they impact the ship. These aren't science fiction concepts. They're technologies currently being tested that the Ford's power generation capabilities could support. The ripple effects of the Ford's deployment extend far beyond military considerations. Allied nations see America investing in cutting-edge technology and maintaining its commitment to global security. Potential adversaries see that America remains willing and able to project power anywhere on Earth. And American taxpayers see their investment in national defense producing results that ensure their children will grow up in a world where American values and American strength continue to matter. Recent operations in the Red Sea provide a perfect example of why these capabilities matter. When Iranian-backed Houthis began attacking commercial shipping, American destroyers equipped with advanced missile defense systems successfully intercepted dozens of drones and missiles. The presence of American carrier strike groups in the region provided the deterrent effect that kept a regional conflict from escalating into something much worse. The same principle applies in the Pacific, where Chinese military exercises near Taiwan have become increasingly aggressive. The presence of multiple American carrier strike groups, led by ships like the Ford with their advanced capabilities, sends an unmistakable message that America stands ready to defend its allies and interests. Training exercises provide another window into the Ford's capabilities. During recent composite training unit exercises, the Ford and its strike group practiced scenarios ranging from air defense against mass missile attacks to power projection operations that could influence events thousands of miles inland. These exercises aren't just about testing equipment, they're about ensuring American forces remain ready for any challenge. The international cooperation aspect deserves emphasis too. When the Ford operates with NATO allies, it strengthens relationships that have kept the peace for decades. German frigates, British destroyers, and other allied ships regularly train alongside American carriers, creating an integrated force that no single nation could match. This cooperation extends to the Pacific as well, where American carriers regularly exercise with Japanese, Australian, South Korean, and other allied forces. These relationships matter because modern naval warfare requires coordination between dozens of ships, hundreds of aircraft, and thousands of personnel spread across vast distances. The Ford's advanced communication systems make this coordination possible. Secure data links connect the carrier not just to its own strike group, but to allied forces, land-based command centers, and even space-based assets that provide intelligence and surveillance coverage. When the Ford operates in contested waters, it serves as the hub of a vast network of American and allied capabilities. Looking ahead, the Ford represents just the beginning of American naval modernization. The USS John F. Kennedy, currently fitting out, will incorporate lessons learned from the Ford's construction and early operations. The USS Enterprise and USS Doris Miller, currently under construction, will feature even more advanced systems and capabilities. But even with delays in the Kennedy's delivery, America maintains overwhelming naval superiority through the combination of existing Nimitz-class carriers and the revolutionary capabilities of the Ford. No other nation operates anything comparable to American carrier strike groups, and none are likely to achieve that capability for decades to come. The strategic implications extend well beyond military considerations. American carrier strike groups protect the sea lanes that carry trillions of dollars in global commerce. They provide disaster relief capabilities that no other force can match, and they serve as symbols of American commitment to allies and partners around the world. When the Ford and its sister ships patrol the Pacific, they're not just showing the flag, they're ensuring that international law, freedom of navigation, and democratic values continue to shape how the world's most important waters are used. In an era when authoritarian nations seek to redraw maps and rewrite rules, this mission has never been more important. The technology aboard the Ford also represents thousands of American jobs in shipyards, defense contractors, and supporting industries across the country. Every advanced system on the ship was designed and built by American workers, using American technology, supported by American innovation. This investment in defense technology pays dividends not just in military capability, but in maintaining America's edge in the high-tech industries that drive economic growth. As we look toward the future, the Ford and ships like it will continue evolving. Artificial intelligence will enhance decision-making capabilities. Unmanned aircraft will extend the reach of carrier operations. New weapon systems will provide options military commanders can barely imagine today. But through all these changes, the fundamental mission remains the same: projecting American power, protecting American interests, and ensuring that the world's oceans remain open to all nations that respect international law and peaceful commerce. The USS Gerald R. Ford represents more than just advanced technology or military capability. It represents American determination to remain the world's dominant naval power, American commitment to allies and partners, and American innovation in solving the complex challenges of modern warfare. When this magnificent ship cuts through Pacific waters, accompanied by its strike group of advanced destroyers and submarines, it carries with it the hopes and expectations of everyone who believes in freedom, democracy, and the rule of law. That's a responsibility its crew takes seriously, and it's why Americans can feel proud of what their tax dollars and their sailors have accomplished. The Pacific may be vast, but with ships like the Ford patrolling its waters, it remains America's ocean, and that's exactly how it should stay. Thanks for watching today's deep dive into America's most advanced supercarrier. If this video helped you understand why the USS Gerald R. Ford matters for American security, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content about the brave men and women who keep our nation safe. The strength of our military depends on the support of citizens like you, and your engagement helps spread awareness of these incredible achievements in American defense technology.